Bitcoin saw a breakout yesterday, climbing up 7.8% since midnight on the 25th of March. We obviously have hit our targeted range that we were talking about in the previous videos, 69,900 to 71,847, but things do not appear to be finished just yet. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the technical analysis on BTC, sharing my thoughts and opinions on where Bitcoin's price action is heading. Let's roll that intro and get right down into it. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another Bitcoin video update. If you're new here, why not go ahead and subscribe? By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with all the video content that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you are an OG of the channel, smash that like button. Really do appreciate that. Helps spread the content to more like-minded individuals. Let's jump right into today's video. So Bitcoin paired up with USDT. We're on the 4-hour Binance chart. Yesterday's video, actually I think it was a couple days ago, we had drawn out the target range between 69,900 to 71,847. And of course, you know, we have come up into this area. Now, from here, we can see on the 4-hour time frame that we should be thinking about resistance. Okay, now if we go ahead and grab this and move it back, you can also see that this was a previous area of resistance, but the closures inside this area is giving the bulls a little bit more traction. What I mean by this is that I think we are likely to see a Bitcoin actually rally up just a little bit further. And if we take this down into the 1-hour time frame, here you can see how it's consolidating down into this little range, and our stochastic RSI is down in this oversold. So we're looking for a bit of more of a push to the upside. I don't expect it to be massive, but yesterday's oversold to overbought range on the 1-hour time frame actually did jump and move us up towards 6.58%. So we know it can push up higher if it needed to. I'm not expecting it to, because we are of course overbought on the 4 and 8-hour time frames, but you know, anything is possible. So just bear in mind that although up in this resistance area, we might see things push up a little bit further. I want to check a couple of things here. I'm just going to grab these fib scales. I just want to see where we got to. Yeah, we did move up higher than 1.618. So here we can see some pretty interesting kind of developments for BTC alongside this one here, right up into that typical range. We would have to see $75,000 if we wanted to see some kind of major shift in the current structures for Bitcoin. But considering we are above the 200 EMA, the 50 EMA, the 50 SMA, we are bullish on the on the 4-hour time frame. So we kind of want to be looking at this through, you know, a pretty healthy kind of lens. Now, that move, as I was saying, to the upside, I don't think is necessarily finished, is because I see this as a potential 5-wave, or Elliott wave theory, 5-wave ending movement for BTC. Now, let me show you what that looks like and draw it on here quickly. So it's 1, 2. Here, all of this is 3. We'll come down quickly for that 4th and then up into that 5th. Now, it's possible that our kind of 3rd wave finished here and we have this little tiny baby 4th wave move, and what we're then going to do on that 1-hour time frame is finish that off with this move up here. It would actually push us above our normal expectations, but this would be a flat correction that would basically just play out as such. In order for us to kind of think about this as a bigger impulsion, we would have to see this hit 75,000 or higher and then come down. So we'd have to see an overextension in that 5th wave, for an example. Okay, so it'd be interesting to see how that plays out. From an Elliott wave theory point of view, still looks like it's got some progression to the upside. From your kind of traditional ways of analyzing the market with your 50 EMAs, 50 SMAs and so forth, the things are still looking quite bullish. And so therefore, you know, we want to also be kind of reflecting on that. From other ways of looking at the market, we can also acknowledge that we have higher highs and of course higher lows. So this is actually looking also quite positive from that kind of way of looking at the market. If we were to close lower than the trend line, of course, we'll be looking for moves to the downside from there. So break down or break out situations. But from now, it does look like we have more progression to the upside to be had on the 1-hour and 4-hour time frames. Just bring up the stochastics for a second here. You can see here that we have the potential for this yellow line. The yellow line is the stochastic RSI. The white line is the average of the stochastic, or the smoothing of K, if you're familiar with how these things work. And basically, when you see the yellow line cross above the white line, it's a bullish move, and bearishly when the yellow line moves below the white line. And here you can see we're about to see a bullish cross with the yellow line moving above the white line, and we might actually see continuation to the move to the upside for BTC on the 4-hour time frame. Again, aligning to the idea that we haven't yet finished this move to the upside. So although we hit our kind of targeted range that we've been talking about, it looks like this area of consolidation is just actually a pit stop before it continues its move to the upside. Now, if I take this off and throw on our divergence indicator, here you can see that the RSI is actually quite high, but no divergence is being indicated here. There's no divergence between the price action and the relative strength index. So everything there is looking okay, but we are, of course, on the higher side for the relative strength index on the 4-hour time frame, so we will be looking for progression to the downside soon. On the 1-hour variation to this, you can see that we are still hovering on this slightly higher range. Still no divergences or anything like that. On the 8-hour time frame, again, everything's moving up to higher towards the overbought ranges, but there are no divergences. So from a divergence point of view, there isn't anything to really be too concerned with. Volume point of view, you can see here, quite interestingly, if I bring the price action back, volume has been picking up as prices moved up on the 4-hour time frame. That is a huge positive, showing momentum behind the price action. Since we started to cool off and started to consolidate down here, you can see volumes have actually been lacking. They've been dropping right off. That shows you that there's less of an appetite for selling and more of an appetite for buying, meaning that if volume starts to pick up here, we might actually find ourselves rallying up towards those higher range targets. Now, for anyone who is familiar with the channel, you'll know that we were talking about, a little while back, a couple of days, maybe a week or so, about this range just here, $75,978 to $80,000. In fact, I think some of the thumbnails, I even put the $80,000 price tag on it. I might even do the same for today's video. And well, it looks like we might be having that move play out, right? We only are looking for that lower side target range to get hit. We don't have to hit the $80,000, but it does show us with some kind of progression to the upside here between $75,900 and $80,000 BTC. So that is kind of where I think we are heading. I think we're going to see a little bit of volatility here and there, but ultimately we will be heading on out towards our targeted range of $75,900, in my opinion. That's going to be probably where we're likely to see the next big shift to the downside. So what would I be doing here? Am I going to be going long or am I going to be going short? Well, I think we could potentially go long for Bitcoin. Let's just take market value at the moment, for example. We'd want our stop loss to probably be down lower than that 50 EMA, and our targeted range being that $75,900. It doesn't give us a good risk-reward ratio. As you can kind of see here, that risk-reward ratio comes in at 1.31, meaning that you'd get $1.31 for every $1 that you risk, and that's not the best move in the market. Ultimately, that's going to put you at a bit of a disadvantage and increases your risk of losing some of your trading account. When it comes to risk reward ratios, you really don't, at least in my opinion anyway, don't want to be aiming for anything less than 1.5, $1.50 for every $1 of risk. The higher the R&R, the risk reward ratio, the better it is going to be. It means that you can lose more trades, and the winning trades are going to be the ones that actually still pay you dividends longer term. So if you can have a risk reward ratio of 3.0 or higher, that is basically going to allow you to lose something like 70% of all your trades, yet still be profitable long term. Okay, because as a trader, it's important that you understand that you're not going to win every single trade. Okay, things happen and the market can be very unpredictable at times. But what you want to do as a trader is basically stack everything in your favor. You're going to want to make sure that you're kind of looking after your trading account and that your trading account grows over time. So a risk reward ratio of 1.31 just really wouldn't make a lot of sense. We could, of course, hit these thresholds a little bit better by looking at this previous area of resistance that we broke through. This was 67,840 to 68,240. So we could put the stop loss just below this area, assuming that the previous resistance turns into support and we bounce from there should the price decrease. This would then show us with a risk-reward ratio of about 1.76 and is, of course, slightly more favorable for our trading accounts. And of course, it's probably worth noting that I am no financial financial advisor. I cannot give you financial advice. All I can do is share my thoughts and opinions on the data in the chart as I personally see it. And I see a potential long position for BTC. Now, of course, if I were to be trading, on Bitcoin here with leverage, I'm going to be trading on BitGet. BitGet is my go-to platform when it comes to leverage-based trades. As you guys know, I find the platform very easy to use. It's got so many different cryptocurrencies that you can trade upon as well. There is an affiliate link in the description down below for BitGet. So if you haven't already signed up or checked it out, what are you waiting for? Go ahead. Using the link in the description below will make you eligible for up to $30,000 of rewards and bonuses, depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. There are, of course, terms and conditions associated with that, and not all countries and jurisdictions are eligible. The UK, for example, is not. So why not go ahead and check it out? All the terms and conditions are on their website and the link in the description down below. Okay, so for Bitcoin, I'd be looking at this final move to the upside here. Really kind of targeting out that 75,900, but I would expect some volatility as well. Okay, there might be better entries. This is just a rough example as to kind of how I would approach the market here for Bitcoin, considering all the data that is available to me at the moment. Guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. If you have found it useful, smash the like button. If you're new, subscribe. And why don't you check out this video here, where we're talking a little bit more about what is going on in the crypto space.